Peter DiCello, tell me about your project.
I was mummifying an apple and baking soda and salt, and one in salt and one in apple and salt and one in baking soda.
Okay, and what type of apple did you use?
Honeycrisp apple, and I was measuring the weight of it.
Okay, so why did you choose to do this project?
Because of last year, like we did a carrot, mummifying a carrot, and in the carrot was weighed less and it like shrank. And I wanted to see what happens to an apple.
Okay, so as you were doing your project, did you find out anything cool that you didn't know before? Not so much? Because you mummified a carrot before, right?
Yeah.
So was the apple a lot different than the carrot?
Yeah.
Was it? Did it turn like, give me some descriptive words.
The apple really didn't like change much.
So what would...
The baking soda one got moldy.
Okay, let's get a good close-up of this one. Ooh, okay. So Peter, tell me, what was your hypothesis? What did you think was going to happen?
That the one in salt would weigh less than the one in baking soda.
So you thought the salt would be less,
Yeah.
right? And were you right?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. So based on your dependent variable, which was what?
This one weighed less.
There was weighing, okay. And then what did you use as your independent variable?
The salt and the baking soda.
Excellent. So Peter, we've been doing this since October. Tell me, what was your favorite part of this whole process?
Weighing them and looking at the apples when they came out of the container.
Great. Well, thank you, Peter DiCello. Carter Jacobs, tell me a little bit about your project.
A little bit about my project is about I did metalworking, so all about metal and different temperatures at the max temperature each one can have. It's most interesting because usually you got interesting pictures on how they melted it, the temperatures, and how the technology they used to get to record their temperatures. And then,
okay, where did you do this experiment?
I did this at my grandpa's foundry. He founded it in 1983, I think. And he's been melting metal and sending all the metal to different companies so they can build like railroad cars for trains and all that.
Okay, so when you had to make a decision on what to do your science fair project on, this first came to mind?
Yeah, because I always wanted to get into metalworking like my grandpa, because he inspired me to keep working on this a lot, because I've been to his company a couple times, helping him out, just walking around. One day I slept over his house, and in the morning I went to his work and stayed there for the whole day and watched how he did everything. It's actually really cool, and I want to take over the company one day.
Oh, that's awesome. I love to hear that. Okay, so read for me what your hypothesis was. What did you think was going to happen?
I think that the iron is going to have the highest melting point.
Okay.
I feel like it's the most common metal, and it was going to have the highest melting point of them all, but actually it was the Renau. I don't know.
Rhenium or something. I see that. That's really cool. You got to learn about some different metals.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so Carter, we've been doing this since October. What was your favorite part of this whole project?
My favorite part of the project was actually going there to see how this stuff was actually being made.
So do you think that you're more excited to take over the business now than you were before?
Oh, definitely.
That's awesome. Thank you, Carter. Abby Duda, tell me a little bit about your project.
I was doing push-ups for every day for 20 days, about 20 days, and if I would feel stronger or not.
Okay, and when you were doing research and when you were doing this project, was there something you found out that you never knew before?
I found out that, well, kind of like not, but my experience was like, it was like fun. I don't really know what to say, but like I found out that feeling sick makes you like a lot weaker, because I was like a little bit sick, but I was so like worn out for some reason, so it was like weird.
Okay, so where'd you get the idea to do this this topic?
Well, to be honest, I went up to my brother because he always helps me. He's like older, he's graduated and everything. And I was like, can you help me? I have to figure out something to do for this science project thing. And he was like laying on the ground just thinking. And he said like push-ups or like this paper towel thing. And I was just like, push-ups are easier. You don't have to get many things.
Okay, I like it. So now tell me what your hypothesis was.
My hypothesis is if I do 10 push-ups every day for 20 days, then I won't feel stronger. So
Did it come out true?
yes, it was true.
It was true, so your hypothesis was right. Okay, that's excellent. And then you were doing, tell me again, you were doing them at different times?
No, I did them I did the same amount of push-ups for each day, and it was like different times with how I got stronger, kind of.
Excellent. All right, Abby, we've been doing this for like months. What was your favorite part of this whole process?
My favorite part was probably pressing turn in for the science fair paper, and it was actually kind of fun doing like the prepping with my friends and doing the board and figuring out some pictures.
All right, well, thank you, Abby. About your project.
I did which paper towel brand absorbs the best, and my title is Ready, Set, Absorb. And what I did was I got different paper towels, and I got a specific measurement with different liquids, and I poured it down on the table, and I gently put the paper towel on top of the liquid, and I waited about 10 seconds, and then I saw how much was left, and then I drew some lines on the paper towel, and I wrote the measurements down, and then I multiplied them to see the area of what it was, and I took the smallest area and saw which one was the least, and I drew some examples of it to see which one was the smallest out of all of them.
Okay, excellent. So, Lily, why did you decide to do this topic for your project?
I watch TV a lot, and I see all these ads saying like, well, Bounty's the best, you should buy this, or Sparkle, or all that. And I usually see my mom buy like the generic store brands like Giant Eagle or Meijer or Walmart, and she usually gets the Giant Eagle one, so I wanted to try it out with the ones I see on TV and the ones that my mom buys.
Excellent. So was there something that you found out by doing this that you never knew before?
I thought that Sparkle would probably be really good because I thought that was something better than like the Giant Eagle store brand or whatever. And I saw that it was as good as that, and the store brand one was not that good.
So when you started your project, what was your hypothesis? What did you think was going to happen?
I thought that the most expensive paper towel brand is the one that will absorb the best.
And what happened? Were you right?
The most expensive one was not Giant Eagle, oh my gosh, Bounty, but that was the second best, but Viva was also the second most expensive, and that was the one that absorbed the best. So the more expensive paper towels absorbed the better, but Bounty, which one was the most expensive, was the one that was second. So it's a yes and no.
Okay, that's Brogan Woody. Tell me a little bit about your project.
So my project is titled To the Sky. I did this project because I knew that paper airplanes were affected by weight in a certain way, but I wanted to know how much they were affected by weight. So I decided to use paper clips for that weight. And
What'd you find out?
I found that the weight is affected. It will definitely fly farther under a certain amount of weight, but if you put too much weight, it'll just fall down. And after, like in the middle of that, it'll kind of spiral, and then it'll fall down, but it's still kind of smooth. And then if you put around like 3 to 4 mini paper clips, it's perfect.
Okay, what did you think would happen? What was your hypothesis?
I thought that it would start off like around 1 to 5 paper clips. It would go slightly farther, and then after that, the rest would just kind of decline and it wouldn't go as far.
Okay, so was your hypothesis true or false?
It did come out true, yes.
Oh, good.
I did. The only thing that was different is my hypothesis was around like 1 to 5. It more came out 1 to 4 as the.
Okay, and then your independent variable was the different weight of the, okay, and then you were looking to measure. How did you measure it?
I used a tape measure, and I stretched it out around 20, I think it was 20 feet. And then I made sure that the 0 was facing me, and I threw the paper airplanes.
Excellent. So, Brogan, we've been doing this for many months. What was your favorite part of this whole project?
I really liked how my dad, he was bugging me a lot, but it made it very eventful, and I liked that.
Excellent. Thank you, Brogan. Charlie Hodgson, tell me a little bit about your board.
So for this science fair, what I did was melting aluminum cans. As you can see in this picture, I did one outside, like in a fire pit, and then one on the stove. So the one on the stove really didn't go so well, but the one outside completely melted.
Excellent. So why did you choose to do this project?
I chose to do this project because like my dad always sometimes has the cans when we're doing fire, so he throws them and they always melt. So I wanted to like do an experiment on that. I also seen videos of people like melting down cans and making bars out of them. So I wanted to see if we could do something like that at my house.
Okay, so what did you learn while doing this project that you never knew before?
I learned that while the stove does get hot enough to melt the aluminum can like on it, it just, the pan was like blocking up with heat, so it wouldn't melt. It was just making our house really smoky with like burning paint. So it didn't work. But outside it completely worked. It was like, you can see here, you can completely melt it down.
That is so interesting. Now tell me, what was your hypothesis? What did you think was going to happen?
I thought the outside fire would like melt it the best because the hot coals can just, it will be sitting on it and the fire will go around it and just. So I seen it before too happen. So that's
was your hypothesis right then?
Yes.
Excellent. And what was your independent variable?
My independent variable was the place we were melting it.
Okay, and then your dependent variable. So how were you measuring the melting?
We were doing time. It took 27 seconds exactly for the outside fire to completely melt the can. For the inside, it never melted, so we just did how long we timed it, which was 20 minutes, which is 1,250 seconds. So we just did that.
Excellent. Now, Charlie, we've been doing this for a long time. I want you to tell me what your favorite part of this whole process was.
My favorite part of the process was probably melting the cans because I'd like to see it, like it form into a little pool, and then we poked it a few times with a stick, and it was just fun doing that.
Thank you, Charlie Hodgson.